Okay, so it's currently going on about 12:15. I I can't sleep. Um, I've tried laying down for about an hour and haven't been able to sleep. I don't know what the deal is. I think maybe I got a lot on my mind. A lot to take in and think about. There's gonna be a lot happening in the next couple of years of my life. Big changes, very big changes. My first marriage, for one thing. It's man, it's crazy. Um, and I mean, the best part is I can't wait for it to start. I can't wait for it to take off. It's wow, it's unknown territory to me. I mean, I've been in relationships, been in love a couple of times, and found this love of my life, and now I'm going to start my life with her within the next couple of years. And I've always been the type that I look ahead and I try to plan ahead. Never really works out how I'd like it to, but overall, it's always the feelings that I look forward to and the encounters and the experiences. And sharing that with somebody, I think, is probably one of the greatest joys I've ever had to look forward to. And somebody's so awesome that I can't wait to do it. It's weird. And I think that's really what's on my mind tonight is that I'm kind of, it's starting to kind of hit home that I'm going to be a married man soon, maybe a father in a few years. I don't know. I mean, it's in the plans at some point, but I think I'm also a little bit worried too. Amber's father is currently over in Africa, um, and I'm not real sure what the whole reason for him being over there is, but obviously it's the first time he's been away from his family in a long time, longest time and the farthest distance, from what Amber tells me. And I just hope and pray that he's safe over there. I mean, I know he is. He's a great guy. He can take care of himself. He knows what he's doing, and he's raised a great family. He's got a great wife, and obviously raised the most beautiful daughter I've ever seen because I'm marrying her. But it's just crazy. I think that's just a couple of things that are on my mind and heart tonight. Um, and I think that combined with some other family involved stuff, of the opposite end of the spectrum. Unfortunately, I don't really want to bring it up because it's not really something that should be brought up on my vlog because it's kind of some personal family uh, situation. Um, but it's basically a marriage that has almost come to an end. Um, I don't know. I didn't. I'll just say this much: if Amber and I, when and if we have kids, um, their parents are gonna be together forever. Uh, that's something I've talked about a few times with Amber. Is I just if I do have kids, I just don't want them to go through a divorce. Um, Divorce can tear a kid's childhood up, and people can say all they want. They'll get over it, they'll understand as they get older, but when and if I have kids, and of course I'm sure there have been other people that said the same thing I'm saying now, and it ended up happening anyway. But I'm gonna do my damnedest for it not to. But it tears a hole and makes so many gaps in a kid's childhood when he's or she is pushed back and forth between parents, hearing things, one parent saying something bad about the other, and they say they shouldn't, but they do, and it just causes so much drama in that childhood. It's just uncalled for. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about the bump in my head, Random side note: I hit my head on my desk when I was getting up because the dog was jumping up on me, and I was trying to get up to walk him, and bam, mark on my head. It was bleeding earlier, but it stopped. Didn't hurt that bad though. But anyway, yeah, the divorce is a poison. It is a certifiable poison that, personally, I believe that divorce is a weakness. It is called for at times, I mean, obviously, but overall, if two decent people are getting married and one just wants to call it quits, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. I mean, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but if you're going to pledge your life to somebody, you're pledging your life to somebody, and you should hold true to it. But yeah, I just see divorce as a weakness. I see it as an excuse to just give up. And what it says to me is that the relationship didn't mean anything in the first place. I mean, you didn't think it through. You just jumped into it. And that's just an unfortunate side of my generation, is that they believe that getting married isn't what it used to be, or they don't see it that way. I mean, I see marriage as one of the greatest things in life, and even if you don't get, like, legally married, have a ceremony or whatnot, if you've pledged your life to this person, then that's what you've done, you know? It's like, I don't know, in ways, it's like pledging yourself to a faith, or, uh, you know, going in for military service. It's probably bad examples, but you're giving your life to this, and if you just want to throw in the towel, then I don't know. I mean, I know there are a lot of good reasons to get divorced, but if you're just doing it just to get out of the marriage, and it's a good marriage, and you just don't want to be with that person anymore, you're a bad person. I'll just say it. You're a bad person. Um, you just quit. You just give up. I mean, I've never been married, but every marriage has its pitfalls. Every marriage has its obstacles, and it's in a lot. I'm sure there are marriages that's always a struggle, and there are marriages that are made in are made to be a marriage. I mean, they're perfect. They're easy. But I think it's the marriages that you have to work at the most that are worth the most. I mean, I look at my grandparents. My grandparents were married almost 60 years. And they did it because they worked at it. Sure, there were times when they wanted to give up on each other, but they meant the world to each other. They loved each other. I believe that there are instances of love that are just automatic. You feel that connection and you're with them for the rest of your life. But then there are other instances of love that it starts out as a seed and it grows into this gigantic tree that can withstand any storm. Feel free to use that. But yeah, that's the way I see it. I see divorce as a weakness. Marriage is one of the greatest things that's ever happened to humanity. And I think if you devote yourself to that person, or to a person, or persons, depending on your belief, then you should stick with it. And who knows, maybe 10, 20 years from now, I'll see this and think, what an idiot I was. But at this point in my life, that's how I view divorce. It's a weakness. And when kids get involved, it's even worse, because you inevitably, depending on how that kid is and what they understand what's going on and how old they are, you